So if you have taken intermediate algebra class before, you may have seen this statement: write the equation of the line. This concept from intermediate algebra is the same concept we're going to talk about in this video. But the problem is written slightly different. Now it's stated: write the linear function f for which, and it gives you function values. So what does these function values mean? What do we know about f of x? What do we know about f of x? F of x is equal to what? Or f of x is the same thing as what? Well, you should know now that f of x is equal to y. So if f of x is equal to y, then we can identify our x and our y, because whatever goes inside of this parenthesis is our input value, and here x is representing our input value and y is representing our output value. So we can identify points based off of this. So one set of point is 1, 3, and one set of point is 4, 0. So we have 2 points that we can now find the slope of. So there's a formula to find the slope given 2 points. That formula is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Recall that I asked you to memorize this formula. So we're going to use this formula to find the slope given the 2 points. Let's label these points as x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. The subs is just a short for subscript. All right, so that's just a smaller number. It doesn't mean anything mathematical here. It's just a name for that particular set of points. So we have one set of points and we have the second set of points. All right, so y sub 2 we know is 0 minus y sub 1 is 3 divided by x sub 2 is 4 minus x sub 1 is 1. So what we have is negative 3 divided by 3, which is negative 1. So our slope m is negative 1. We're going to put this information into the point slope formula. So recall that I also asked you to memorize this formula. Now, if you said slope-intercept form, you actually can use the slope-intercept form to write the linear function as well. I just normally choose the point slope formula. And what is the point slope formula? It is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. And what we're going to change out is only the y sub 1, the m, and the x sub 1. Everything else remains the same. So we have y minus y sub 1, which is 3, equals m, we just found to be negative 1, times x minus x sub 1. X sub 1 is 1. Now we are going to distribute here. We have y minus 3 equals negative 1x, or negative x, because the negative 1 as a coefficient is understood. So we put negative x plus 1, and then we're going to add 3 to both sides, which gives us y equals negative x plus 4. So here we put it in the slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m represents the slope and b represents the y-intercept. And let me show you another way. You could have used this instead of the point slope formula, just to show you that you could have used the y equals mx plus b instead. So we could have used y equals mx plus b. We could have plugged in that negative 1 here, negative 1, right? for m. For x, we could have chosen one of these points, like 1. And for y, we could have chosen 3. So that's 3 equals -1 plus b. And we could have added 1 to both sides. That would have given us our b, right? See that? See that? All right, so if we know our b and we know our m, then we can say y equals, what is our m? Well, we found our m, remember? Our m is here. So our m was -1x, and our b is 4. So we could have found this y equals -x plus 4 using the slope-intercept form and not the point-slope formula. So you decide. All right, the last step of this, write the linear function f. So anytime you see this, these are the steps you have to take. You're just going to exchange that y for f of x. So not a y, we just change it to f of x because they want us to write it as a function. So this is the final answer. F of x equals -x plus 4 instead of y equals -x plus 4. All right, now here's your opportunity now that we're at the checkpoint for you to pause the video, see if you can mimic what we just did to come up with the answer for the checkpoint. And then you can always play to hear what the answer is. So go ahead and pause, work it out, and then play. All right, so we have write the linear function f again, for which f of -2 equals 6 and f of 4 equals -9. Again, we have these function values that we can convert to points. And what are the points? The points are -2, 6, and 4, -9. What are we going to do with these points? We are going to find the slope given 2 points. The formula, slope formula given 2 points is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So let's label our points as x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2, and throw those numbers in the formula. So y sub 2 is -9 minus y sub 1 is 6 divided by x sub 2 is 4 minus x sub 1 is -2. -9 minus 6 is -15 divided by 4 plus 2 is 6. Probably didn't notice this, but this can be reduced because the number 3 can divide into both 15 and 6 at the same time. So we do need to simplify or reduce it. So 3 goes into 15 5 times, 3 goes into 6 2 times. So our slope is -5/2. What are we going to do with that? You could plug it into your point slope formula. Again, I showed you how you can also just plug it into your slope intercept form and get the same answer. I just prefer the point slope formula. I'm just used to using it, that's all. But you can use the slope intercept form. So that's y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Y minus y sub 1 is 6 equals m is -5/2 times x minus x of 1 is another -2. Now, let me point this out. I used the first set of points, but it didn't matter. You could have actually used this. I know that the formula says y sub 1 and x of 1, but it doesn't matter which point on a line you choose. I'm just choosing the first one because I don't have any issues with it. I would potentially, for example, use the other one, another point, if maybe this first set of points had a fraction in it, for example. Normally we try to avoid fractions if at all costs. So if the first set had a fraction, then we would try to plug in another set of points. But I don't have an issue with -2, 6, so let's move forward. Y minus 6 equals -5/2. It's best to take care of this inside first. So that is x plus 2. Then let's distribute. When we distribute, we have y minus 6 equals -5/2 x. And then we have -5/2 times 2. What is -5/2 times 2? We know that 2 is over 1. 2's cancel. So we have a -5 here. -5. Then what are we doing? We add 6 to both sides. Add 6. Oh, I need to add 6 here. Add 6 to both sides. And then we get y equals -5/2 x plus 1. Then we exchange that y out for f of x. So the answer is f of x equals -5/2 x plus 1.